Okay, I think we'll get started. A few more people might be joining in, but that's okay. Welcome, everybody. This is KP Interface's KPI University series. This series is AI 104, Unlocking Secure Practical AI for Business. We're going to be helping you go from curiosity to confident adoption. And we have our speaker here with us, our AI specialist, Blaise Desirati. Blaise, go ahead, take it away.
Righty, thank you everybody for being here today. I'm Blaise Desirati, and I lead AI strategy and adoption here at KPI. So today's session is focused on helping you understand how to adopt AI securely, responsibly, and in a way that drives real business value. So again, we'll have Q&A at the end, but feel free to type in any questions you have in the Q&A slot as we go. So yeah, let's get into it. All right, so on our agenda today, I'm going to discuss the problem that's at hand, a responsible framework for adopting AI, and then at the end, I'm going to touch on KPI's new AI service offering. Alrighty, so AI is here, but most businesses do not know where to start. It's already inside every organization, whether leadership is ready for that or not. The biggest challenge that I'm seeing right now boils down to security and adoption. So employees are already using tools like ChatGPT, Gemini, and Claude on their own, oftentimes without visibility or any guidance. So that introduces risk as well as uncertainty. So with security, again, that's the shadow AI that's already happening. And the next thing is adoption. So even if your team does have AI access right now, the challenge is getting the entire team to actually use it effectively. So what we do is help turn this uncertainty into a secure and measurable roadmap for you guys. So let's get into the danger of doing nothing. By simply ignoring AI or waiting too long to take action on it, that's when businesses start to fall behind. So there's other companies out there that are moving faster, and that gap grows very, very quickly. One of the biggest concerns that I'm seeing with AI is data security, privacy, and loss. I will address those in the next two slides after this. So, yeah. Also, though, without a centralized system, you lose that ability to control access. So anybody can plug data into whatever tools they want, and your leadership team has no visibility into that. And then finally, teams end up using unstandardized methods. So everyone's doing their own thing, nothing is consistent, and it becomes almost impossible to scale or measure all those results. Okay, so like it or not, your team is already using AI. Quick question, does anybody in here know every single AI tool that's currently being used in your business? Drop that in the chat if you do know, and if you don't. So this is the heart of the challenge, is that you can't secure what you can't see, and AI tool usage is spreading much faster than you can track and much faster than you would think. So this table shows an example company and their number of AI queries per day. You can see they have 35 total users. So imagine with a much larger company, how much more it would be. You can see most of these users, like what I see, most of them are using ChatGPT, but then you have the other users who are exploring other tools at the same time. So you can see these totals and you can see how quickly the queries do add up. And if those users are insecure, it gives you a better idea to the volume of risk that you're facing. So you can see the average per day for a business with 35 users is about 221 per day, which comes out to 4,200 in a month. So again, if those users are insecure, it just gives you another look at the volume of risk that you are facing. So let's get into how AI models actually get better. Um, they get better because they gain access to more data. When people are using free AI tools and even some of the paid ones, it's training on that data. So these large language models can add your confidential info into their training sets. So something I've touched on a lot is the data that you're putting into it and how it's insecure about these tools training on them. But another aspect to it is the data loss component. So when employees are using individual personal accounts, the company data walks out the door with them. So if that person leaves the organization, the work they created leaves too, and the business has no way to access, retain, or delete it. So if you don't know who is using what tool, you can't assume that it's safe. And because everyone is working in different personal systems, knowledge becomes siloed, and the company loses a good opportunity to build collective intelligence in that sense. So I've developed this framework for responsible AI adoption, and the keyword there is responsible. So first and foremost, you need to have a secure AI environment. After that would be to track adoption and usage, and following that would be training and use case development for real business value. So this framework ensures that along your journey of AI, it's secure, it's measurable, and it's aligned with actual outcomes that will bring value to your business. Okay, so many businesses want AI, but they don't know how to start safely or to make it actually valuable for their whole team, and that's exactly where we come in. A lot of companies aren't failing at AI because the technology doesn't work. They fail because the adoption is unmanaged. So people don't know where to start. There's no structure, no standards, and no way to measure usage or value. So ask yourself, how are you currently using AI? What manual task would you most like to eliminate? And what's your biggest concern with AI? Is it the security side of it? Is it how productive your team will be? Or is it just where to even begin? Okay, so here is how I think about AI adoption. The right way to adopt it is progressively, starting with simple use cases, building confidence, and then scaling out responsibly. So my approach is to crawl, walk, and then run. So you start off crawling. This is when you're using AI for use cases that bring you immediate value and that will work for a large portion of your company. After that, you move on to walking. So this is use cases that are pretty similar, but do require customization and maybe a little bit more handholding. And then also things that take more time to implement, but can be recreated in multiple different areas of your business. From there, you graduate up to running. So that's AI use cases that are unique to one specific person or one specific business unit. And then use cases that have a high impact but require specialty implementation. So the key here is to meet your staff where they are. And so here's just a quick visual to give you a better idea. I know I've tried AI projects that turned out to be a whole lot more work than it was worth. And so the goal here is to avoid high effort and low value projects and instead start with quick wins that will create actual momentum for your team. Okay, so some examples of crawling here. So these are the low effort, lower impact use cases: researching, brainstorming, creation of SOPs, and file analysis. That's not to say that these have low impacts necessarily. It's just that these are that low-hanging fruit for you to just capture real quick, nice and easy. So from there, we move on to walking. So as confidence grows, we move into department level workflows, reporting automation, CRM workflows, and internal knowledge chatbots. So you can see how some of these use cases will bring a lot more value with just a bit more effort. And then after that, we get into running. So when you're at full maturity, this is really when AI becomes a whole lot more transformational. So you can get into more complex multi-step workflows, automated onboarding, support agents, and having your team tackling projects with AI at the front of their minds. Okay, so bringing it all together. Um, To successfully adopt AI, organizations need four things: visibility into what tools are being used, a secure governed environment, training and real business use cases, and then the ability to measure adoption and track outcomes. So this is how AI goes from risk to real measurable value. So if you're wondering how to track AI tool usage, it would start with a readiness assessment, which will bring me to our next slide. So here at KPI, we came out with our AI readiness assessment. So what it does is it gives you a clear snapshot of where your team stands exactly and what to do next. It's a strategic company-wide intake survey. It's about 30 questions, and it covers four different realms regarding AI adoption. you come out of it with readiness benchmarks and you get clear actionable recommendations. Now you could come to us for this or you could deploy it internally, but the key here is to really get input from every single user and knowing every single tool that they use and how they use it. So this brings me to our AI service offering here at KPI. What we've built is a structured program that gives organizations the visibility, security, training, and support needed to adopt AI safely and successfully. So this includes our secure AI platform, governance and policy frameworks, hands-on training, and guided use case development. In our next slide, I will show you the secure platform. Okay, so what we're offering in this secure platform, it comes with 50 models all in one place. Um, this platform brings AI into a controlled environment where your data stays protected, the usage is tracked, and work becomes a company asset. So your team is on a unified platform. So if they leave, your data stays. There's no training on your data within the platform either. So there's 50 models all in one place. So your team can securely test tools out to find what works best for them without trying the insecure free versions or without you having a long list of subscriptions out there. Comes with training modules. You can build agents and workflows without knowing how to code, and it integrates with plenty of popular tools as well as a phone agent in there. So here's a quick look at some of the integrations we have already in the Secure AI platform. If anybody sees anything they recognize in there or tools that they're using, drop it in the chat. But I'll give you an even better look when I do the live demo of the platform itself. And so right now I'm going to take over Medina. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, can you guys see my screen? Okay, cool. All right, so here's what it looks like when you log right in. This is just the home page. It prompts you to work on marketing campaign, data extraction, anything that people are commonly using within my organization. Here in the organization tab, this could be workflows or apps that I've built or that some of my colleagues have built that are all just in one platform ready to go for each other. But yeah, so there's a lot of really cool features to this. I'll start with the chat. So just like any other AI tool you're used to, here's the chat interface. And you'll see right now I'm in GPT-5. Like I said earlier, I've been considering this a secure playground for you to mess around with AI yourself. Um, so when I speak to a lot of people, they started using ChatGPT 4 years ago when it came out, and they've kind of stayed with it since. And if you want to try any other tools, it's not as secure because you're either on the free version or you're knocking on the door in your company trying to get a subscription to 3 different tools. So this makes it a lot easier for end users like us to just really mess around with things securely. So you can see right here are my pinned models. A GPT-5, which I'm in right now. Claude 4.5 is in there. Gemini 3, which just came out, is already in here. GPT 5.1, which just came out, and Gemini 2.5 is right there. But it can break it down by categories as well. So, we have 28 advanced high ability models, 38 in here that are good with tool calls, reasoning models, quicker models, models that can process images, and then models that create images themselves. But then if I just want to view all the models themselves, I click over here and I can filter it by platform. So if I'm a big Google Gemini guy, I can just filter it out right there. We have Anthropic, DeepSeek, OpenAI, and plenty that you probably wouldn't have used yourself. And then we can just get into the long list of it here. So yeah, that's all that it has to offer. Amazon Nova Lite, I would be willing to bet that nobody in this chat right now has used that. So it's a good chance to just really kick the tires on any model that sticks out to you. So yeah, that's the chat feature. And then we will get to the workshop, which is my favorite aspect of it. So in the workshop, you have the choice to build an app, a workflow, or an agent. So let's just hop into an agent real quick and see what it would look like to build that. So again, I want to stress the fact that you don't have to be able to do any programming or any coding to be able to do this. You can even just talk to the agent itself to have it kind of hold your hand through the process. So, you can name the agent, describe it, and give it a category. So I could tag it as marketing so that my marketing team has an easier way to get to it. I can do the system prompt in here. So just telling it how to behave, how to talk to me, give it a personality. And then the real backbone of it is picking what model it's running on. So if I wanted to be on Claude, I would just simply click it right here. You can customize it with an icon and then you add sources to it. So if I wanted an internal HR agent, I would integrate it with my SharePoint or OneDrive, and then I would upload certain documents so that it's the background knowledge for the agent. So it's calling out to what I've provided it with, and then it can answer anything in our HR policies that I might want it to. And then lastly is tools. So there's plenty of tools to pick from. So I could pick these top three, Perplexity, Firecrawl, and Google Search. This would connect our agent to the web so that it could web scrape anything and just be connected to the internet. So even if I didn't want to give it a knowledge base to work off of, it could just pull from the internet different information for it to work with. So yeah, that's what it would look like to build an agent. It would take 10, 15 minutes to build a simple one, or it could be way more robust. So let me show you the integrations once more. So I have my 365 connected. So it's really helpful with going into my emails and helping me draft emails and summarizing things. It's got Reddit, GitHub, Salesforce, which comes in handy. You have Gmail, so you can connect that email with it as well. LinkedIn, so I can have it create posts for me and actually post it itself. Slack, Stripe, Fireflies, and HubSpot for the marketing people out there. So there's plenty of integrations and there's more added by the week. So let me just show you what some agents are in there already, because this platform already has plenty of agent templates out there for you if you didn't want to build it yourself. So let's see. Let's go to my items and let's go by category. So in my items, if I wanted to build certain agents just for people in marketing, I would tag it with marketing and then they would just filter by this to see what they could work with. SEO improvements, donor engagement plans, case study generators. So it's really great in that sense. So let's go to favorites. I have the Elite Sales AI agent, the Company Knowledge Assistant agent, MSP Help Desk agent. But again, there's agents, there's apps, and there's workflows, and AI risk mitigation and opportunity plan. So there's plenty of templates already out there for you. You could get in there and use it as is off the shelf, or you could tweak it around, or you could just start from the bottom and build your own. So that's pretty cool. So let me just show you one in action real quick. So here's the SEO improvements agent. Um, so for this example, I just used Nike.com. So what we're going to do is analyze Nike's SEO and see what it gives us. So it's still waiting right now, but I did a run before this. So let's see what it came up with. So it's giving me the steps, telling me what it's doing right here, but let's get into it. Part of how I designed this agent was to pull up competitors' websites. So I'll help you find Nike's top 3 SEO competitors. We have Adidas, Puma, and Under Armour. Okay, that's cool. But let's get to the final output. Let's give me SEO counterintelligence, and let's get to the final Rex. So here's the output. And again, it took me 10 or 15 minutes to build this. So it just shows you how powerful it can be to just build the agent and having AI help you do it. So executive summary in here, the strategic imperative from brand events to market offense. And it's just giving me a whole background of Nike's SEO as well as the competitors. And then we'll see what to do right and what it's doing wrong. So yeah, so that's just a quick example of how easy it is to create an agent and just having it in your environment ready to go for you. And the sharing aspect of it is great. So if you have your whole company in this tenant, it's super easy to just share your agent with a coworker and they could use it exactly how you use it, or they can get into the editor and tweak some things around for their own liking. So yeah, So that's what it looks like. We have the learning portal as well, and then the AI phone agent as well. So there's a whole lot to work with in here. And even just these pre-configured templates, a PowerShell script explainer, I can try it out, or I can save it to my items so I can tweak it around. They have categories like business, text writing, operations, marketing. So yeah, there's a whole lot to work with in here. So I'm gonna toss it back to Medina. Okay, so yep. So on top of the secure AI platform that we're offering, what comes with our service offering is training and adoption. So education really is the key to sustainable AI success. Here at KPI, we deliver hands-on AI workshops that will translate concepts into measurable business outcomes. It could be a workshop just showing your team how to use Copilot, how to use the new secure platform. If you want to get together with me and brainstorm on how to come up with your acceptable use policy, we can do that. Really anything. I'm here for you guys, so any support I can lend. Yeah, again, it could be an executive briefing to a just department specific playbook. So, yeah, I'm here to help you scale AI responsibly. So, it also comes with ongoing coaching and prompt library resources to ensure that your team continues to evolve as these AI tools do, which is by the day at this point. So, here's the QR code to my AI readiness assessment booking page. There's a few other options in there. So, even if it wasn't just about the readiness assessment. If you want to hear more about the secure platform or our service offering in general, I'd be happy to talk with you. So yeah, just scan the QR code and I'll bring you right to my booking link. So anything you want to talk about with me. With the readiness assessment, we typically will have a quick 30-minute call. I explain the process to you and just set expectations for the project going forward. So yeah, anybody just scan that QR code if you want to get in touch.
And if you don't have access to the QR code, the link is also in the chat below.
Okay, so time for Q&A. Anybody with any questions, just fire them away down there. Pulling it up right now. It looks like somebody might have had a question before. Would this tool adhere to HIPAA compliance, for example, analyzing client data? Yeah. So it's a very robust security tool, and that was the whole point of it. So the company is Hats AI, and they started as a cybersecurity company, and that was their first thought in mind when creating this. So it does comply with HIPAA and plenty of other industry regulations. So yeah, thank you for asking, Maria. Okay. Brian says, so KPI can provide the assessment, the platform licensing, the training, the security, and the implementation. That is correct. We've been working hard to get this service offering ready to roll for everybody, and that's exactly what we cover. It starts with the assessment so that we and you know exactly where your company stands. You get a baseline for where you are, and then we move forward from there. So if you get onto the secure platform, it really is covering most of that security for you. We come up with all the policies that you need. Again, it comes with training, but I'm available for a 30-minute call or an all-day workshop for anybody who needs it. Yeah, and the implementation, it's pretty quick and easy, and we just try to make it as easy as possible for you guys. So yeah, we definitely provide all of that. Personal in-depth demos of the AI platform. Yeah, again, guys, if you want to scan that QR code, just book any time with me, whether it's an all-encompassing review of the entire platform or just on the phone agent or the learning portal, or even just how to build agents within it. I'd be more than happy to give you a much better walkthrough of it. Let's see. Am I aware of any AI architectural design tools? Yeah, there's plenty out there, Howard. Yeah, I'd be happy to have a separate conversation with you on that. But even in our platform, we have a few agents that are facilitated for architectural design. So I'd be happy to give you a demo on some of them or even kind of walk you through what else is out there. So yeah, definitely. Hey guys, any last questions? Looks like we have about a couple minutes left. I don't want to take too much time from you guys, but while we're here, any last questions, get them in. And yeah.
Brian seemed to have a question earlier on about not sure who's using what AI platform and how would he know?
Yeah, so again, it brings me back to the readiness assessment. Some people try and do this in-house and that can work, but when we come in, we set a deadline and we make it super simple for everybody to take the survey, and the way we phrase every question just really helps get the most out of it from every user that's out there. So we outline every single tool that's being used in your business and how everyone's using it and what level of licensing they have. So to give you and us a better idea of how secure it actually is. So yeah, that readiness assessment, it covers everything. And it's definitely a crucial first step for someone who's ready to really go all in with AI because it just sets that baseline that everybody needs. All right, guys, last call for any more questions. How do you secure who does not use the secure? Okay. So if you're referring to people who are using the free tools, again, not to sound like a broken record, but it comes down to the readiness assessment. That way, person X, Y, and Z is on the free tool. Um, so you get the visibility of who's using what, and then we come up with the acceptable use policy. And, you know, 99% of companies are saying, it is not acceptable. It's not acceptable AI use as part of our policy for you to be using the free tools. So then that just becomes the standard moving forward. So again, it comes down to having active user engagement for that readiness assessment, having everybody share every tool that's being used, and then just coming up with the right plan to move forward. Because, a lot of these users don't know. um, so yeah, it just comes down to having someone like us or people internally really righting the ship and knowing which way to steer everybody so that everyone's moving in the right direction. Alrighty. So if there's no more questions from anybody, I'd just like to thank you all for your time today. And yeah, thanks for being the best part of KPI and showing up. So if anybody has any questions again, I'll drop my email right now in the chat. And then we'll also send out a link as well as the recording from today to anybody. And yeah, you can go to my bookings page, you can shoot me an email, or you can even look me up on LinkedIn. I'm happy to help anybody who has any questions.